What happens if U.S. presidential election is cancelled? Provisions in the Constitution may let us put a government into place without an election, but they've not been tested and no one will like the result. Many Americans have begun to wonder what will happen on Election Day, given the coronavirus pandemic and its effects on the primary season, from the 52 cases and growing of COVID-19 in Wisconsin tied to the decision to force in-person voting, to the spate of delayed primaries and New York's decision to cancel its Democratic presidential primary entirely. Urgent calls for expanding vote by mail and expanded absentee voting, mostly from Democrats, have led to pushback, mostly from Republicans who say they are concerned about the potential for voter fraud. But with scientists and public health experts now warning that Americans should expect a spike in COVID-19 cases in the autumn, after a spring that has already brought more than 1 million confirmed cases and more than 60,000 deaths to date, there is one more question that political scientists are quietly asking. If many, or even most, states do not or cannot hold elections on November 3, the date set by federal law, will President Donald Trump step aside when his term ends? Americans can rest assured, under the Constitution, Trump's current term ends on January 20, 2021. Unless he is re-elected, there will be a new head of state next year. So he has as much interest in holding elections as Democrats do. If the federal and state governments do not prepare to hold general elections amid the coronavirus pandemic, the United States government could be forced to rely on rules of succession that have never been used, in circumstances the framers never imagined. But there is, at least, a plan of sorts. Acting through their legislatures, states can appoint electors to the Electoral College even without elections, so there should be votes to count, even if not all states submit them. Any candidate receiving a majority of the electoral votes cast would become president.